Brené Brown once said, "Owning our story and loving ourselves through that process is the bravest thing that we will ever do." When we accept ourselves fully, we free ourselves from the constant pressure to be someone else or to meet unrealistic standards, and that leads to a deeper sense of contentment and happiness in your life. I'm Sanj and welcome to Master Your Mindset, Master Your Life. This is a podcast that gives you helpful techniques to help you master your mindset, to navigate life's challenges with ease, and to help you reach new heights so you can master your life. If you get something from this episode, please share it with someone who you think would benefit from hearing this. And I would also really appreciate it if you could leave me a rating or a review. So today, we're going to be talking about why happiness actually starts with self-acceptance, because the process of self-acceptance in itself is courageous. It requires us to confront parts of ourselves that you may not want to, or that you may not like, that you may have hidden away. It involves you letting go of the need for perfection, the need for approval, and instead just valuing yourself as you are. Self-acceptance is about being at peace with yourself, and that is a key foundation for lasting happiness in life, because when you start to embrace your true self, you can live more authentically and cultivate genuine joy in life. But there are lots of issues, there's lots of things stopping you from doing that. It's so difficult in today's world to actually accept yourself for who you are, because it can be a daunting task. There's societal pressure because having people around you, all the people around you, your friends, society, your family, it actually imposes unrealistic standards on you, of beauty, of success, of your behavior. And what happens is you then struggle to keep up with all these things. You're trying to please every single person. You're trying to look a certain way. You're trying to have a certain amount of success. You're trying to behave in a way that you think other people will approve of. And what happens when you start to do this is these expectations on you, they can actually make you feel inadequate, because if you're not doing them, if you're not actually measuring up to them, you feel like you're failing. You feel like you need to be doing something more. And as a result, it can leave you feeling unhappy, and you're expecting to live the life that other people want you to live. And again, when I always say this because it is so true, because in today's day and age, it's difficult to accept yourself because you are constantly comparing yourself. With social media, it is so easy to fall into that black hole of comparison, comparing your lives to others, what they have, how they look, what they do, where they're traveling. And when you keep comparing yourself, you will end up falling short, because there are plenty of people out there doing different things. There are plenty of people out there doing things that you may want to do. But is it that you want to do it, or that just because you've seen their picture of them doing it, that all of a sudden you've just got this twinge, actually I would like to do it? Having social media and comparing your life with those on it is actually causing you to feel ashamed, feel depressed, feel like you're again not measuring up, because you are not living what their life looks like, but you're not actually seeing their full life. The final reason, or the third reason that I'm going to give you of why it is so difficult to accept yourself, is because of your inner critic. Your inner critic is constantly judging you, is constantly criticizing you. And this inner critic, this is the source of your negative self-talk. And all the negative self-talk that maybe people have said to you, all the negative things that people may have said to you in the past, and it can erode your self-esteem. And what that does then is it makes self-acceptance a challenge. Because whenever you think, oh yeah, I'm doing this right, your then mind goes to all the times you've done it wrong, or when someone said you're not good enough. So you need to actually learn to accept yourself, and that's where your happiness will start. Because when you start to actually accept yourself, it is the foundation to true happiness, because it brings you inner peace. When you accept yourself, you stop fighting against your true nature. You stop fighting to fit in. When you accept yourself, it brings a sense of inner peace because it's reducing that internal conflict. You're no longer fighting inside yourself to behave one way but think another. You're no longer fighting against yourself to buy things or do things that don't actually line up with what you want to do, that don't line up with your true nature. You're finding that peace being you. You're finding that happiness of just being yourself. And when you start to do that, when you start to get that inner peace, what then happens is that then increases your authenticity. Because when you accept yourself, it allows you to be authentic with yourself and around others. What that then leads to is more genuine, more fulfilling relationships, because you're no longer there to please people. You're no longer there to just be the yes man or just to be there and acting in a certain way because you think that's what will help you fit in. We all crave to be part of a group, but if it's harming you, if it's toxic, if it's making you act in ways that don't align with your values, when you start to accept yourself, you will find the group that you fit in with best. You will no longer look for validation from any group. You will no longer act in a way in which you want people to see you. You will start to behave as yourself, the most authentic version of yourself. And that when you do that, people are more likely to be drawn to you. They're more likely to connect with you. And they're not just going to connect with you, the you put out there. They're going to connect with the real you. And this will lead to, as I said, more genuine, more fulfilling relationships. And the third thing, when you start accepting yourself, you will reduce stress. A weight will be lifted off your shoulders because you are no longer constantly trying to meet these unrealistic expectations, because that is exhausting. I know. I've done it. Everyone has done it. You try and be, you're one person around one group of friends, and then you're another person around another group of friends. You have one sense of humor with some people, you have another sense of humor for other people because you're just trying to fit in. And when you start to accept yourself, you don't care about those unrealistic expectations anymore. You no longer care about pleasing those people. So then that gives you so much freedom. It picks up that weight that you have been carrying on your shoulders. So acceptance alleviates this stress and allows you to enjoy life more fully. When you start to actually accept yourself, when you become comfortable with who you actually are, you will notice so many positive changes in your life. You're going to start seeing things like improved relationships, as I said, because you're more authentic, you're more comfortable in your own skin. Your relationships will improve. You'll attract people who appreciate you and love you for who you actually are, not who you're trying to be. You're going to notice your confidence increases because when you accept yourself, it boosts your confidence because you're feeling more secure in your decisions, in your behavior, and you're less reliant on that external validation. You're looking to actually validate yourself. You're not looking for other people to do that for you. And again, when you start doing these things, when you increase your confidence, you're going to have greater resilience because it makes you, having that acceptance makes you more resilient to the challenges that life's going to throw your way. You'll be better equipped to handle all these things. You'll be better equipped to actually tackle the challenges, the setbacks, and any stumbles that you have along your path. And the final one of the final things is enhanced well-being. When you start to accept yourself, there's a strong correlation between self-acceptance and your well-being and life satisfaction. So when you start to accept yourself, you'll find life more satisfying. you'll be happier, you'll be more joyful. It will impact your life in so many different ways. But it's all easy to say and all easy for me to talk about it. But here are 4 ways in which you can actually start becoming more comfortable with yourself and start accepting yourself for who you really are. The first way is practice self-compassion. When you do something wrong, treat yourself with that same kindness, that same understanding that you would offer a friend, a child. Self-compassion means that you recognize that everyone makes mistakes, even you, and that those little imperfections, those little faults that you make, those little mistakes that you have, they're all part of the human experience. Realize that. Don't beat yourself up for it. Don't berate yourself. Let it go. Just admit you made the mistake. Yes, learn from it and move on. The second thing is actually challenge your negative self-talk. When you actually hear yourself or notice yourself saying something destructive, when you notice yourself saying something negative to yourself, pay attention to that inner voice. Challenge it. Replace it with positive words and constructive self-talk. See what difference that makes when you start doing that on a regular basis. The next thing is surround yourself with positive influences. Because when you build a support network, it's so important the people you have around you. When you build a support network of people who uplift you and they encourage you, when you limit your exposure to those negative influences and environments, what you'll notice is actually you become a more positive person in yourself. When the people around you accept themselves, you'll find that you start accepting yourself too. When the people around you are not criticizing you and not talking down to you and not saying things to make you want to change, that's when you'll notice a difference. The fourth thing you can do is going to be really outlandish, really just pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. Do something that you would never do or you never thought you would do in a million years. Do something that really pushes you out of your comfort zone and just be comfortable being uncomfortable. When you accept yourself in a new scenario, in a new situation which you haven't been in before, you need to make sure the first thing you do is become comfortable with yourself, and you will notice how much difference that makes. So, self-acceptance is a journey. It's not a destination. It requires patience and practice and commitment. And you need to learn to love yourself unconditionally. When you embrace who you are, you open the door to true happiness. So what are you going to do today to start accepting yourself and loving yourself more fully? Because whatever you do to start doing that, you can actually start living a life filled with more joy, purpose, and, as I said, self-acceptance. Remember, your mindset shapes your reality. When you master it, you'll master your life. As always, my mission is to make a positive impact on this world, and I sincerely hope you can help me do that by liking, by following, by subscribing, and by sharing this podcast with others. So until next time, keep seeking, keep growing, and keep mastering your mindset to master your life. Thank you.